Bob the Bass Sap, and you're listening to Ramsey on Word on the Street. I'm on the street, nigga. Word.
Word.
What is up, you crazy bastards? It is the Word on the Street podcast. Today is fucking June 4th, the year 2000 and chael. June, holy shit, the year's half over. We're all gonna die
soon. On the East Coast, son.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, East Coasters, June 5th. You're that much closer to dying than we are. This is still 4th for me. Welcome to the Word on the Street podcast. This is Ramses coming to you live. Also with me, as always, I have the best group of co-hosts that you could ever hope for. I have Jake from the MMA podcast. What's up, Jake?
Hello, friends. Follow us on Twitter, the MMA podcast.
I think we might have the Ninja himself. I'm not exactly sure. Hopefully he'll chime in right now if he is there and ready to go. Ninja, what's up, man? Are you there? All right, maybe he's not.
Probably busy looking at those pythons in the mirror. Man's been working out.
The man is a killer. He is a Ninja's. Yes. Oh,
I think I figured it out. I'm here.
What's up, Ninja, man? Just real quick, man. The people are asking all the time, what happened to Ninja? But you're back now. How do you feel? How you doing? Are you ready for this?
I'm great. Let's get this shit going.
Fuck yeah. And also with us is from Queens, New York, an amateur MMA fighter going to debut this year. He knows the word on the streets of Queens. He is Yao, the truth. What's up, Yao?
What's up, guys? You're listening to the greatest MMA podcast in MMA history. Don't go anywhere.
You're damn right, son. This is the Word on the Street podcast, and we'll get right to it, people. Of course, the biggest topic, the breaking news. It is going to be Chael Sonnen making his return to the octagon. Unfortunately, it was supposed to happen next week or some shit. But the fight, there was too much hype, some bullshit, quote, visa issues that went down. The fight got scrapped at UFC 161. Instead, Chael Sonnen versus Mauricio Shogun Rua is going to go down at the first Fox Sports 1 event. It is going to be the main event. That was the breaking news just hours ago today. Of course, I just want to let's fucking talk about it. It's going to be Sonnen versus Shogun. Shogun's last fight, of course, was a tragedy. It was a ripoff. The fans deserved their money back after that performance. But, Shogun's got enough credit under his belt. People are going to want to see this one, especially since he's fighting the people's champion himself. Jake from the MMA podcast, I got to get your take on Shogun versus Sonnen, my hero at least. I don't want to speak for you, but this fight's going to go down. Fox Sports 1. What do you think about the fact that it got scrapped for next week and that it's moved to be the main event now?
Yeah, just the fact it got scrapped, if anything, is going to help Sonnen. And it's kind of silly. Canada's just losing a lot of money in tax dollars. They're like, what is their reasoning for not letting Chael in? They're scared he's going to cause crime or something. I don't know. They're just turning away a bunch of money. It doesn't make any sense. But as far as the Shogun matchup, a lot of us thought that he would be fighting Vanderlei Silva. And I think Sonnen fans would rather him fight Rua than Vanderlei. Both of them are stylistic matchups that favor Sonnen. And a win against Rua is going to help Sonnen's career a lot more against a win against a guy who's who's way, way further down the ladder. And Vanderlei, as far as Rua, like I said, I think the stylistic advantage goes to Sonnen. Look, I do think he's a good fighter, but straight up, the guy's 5-5 since joining the UFC in 2007, and his wins are against a aging Coleman and Liddell, a unmotivated Forrest Griffin, Brandon Vera, and Lyoto Machida in a fight that Rua and Lyoto, that matched up very well for Shogun. But look at every time he's fought a competent wrestler, especially his last two fights against Hendo and Jones. I think it will be a war. Both guys like scrapping, but I see Sonnen taking this one.
Mm-hmm. Now, people, anybody tuning into the Word on the Street podcast today, we will be right now we're talking about Sonnen versus Shogun Rua. We're about to get a little round table, just everybody's quick take on how that fight's going to go. But I just want to let you know, upcoming on the show tonight, we're going to talk about, of course, Sonnen versus Shogun. We're going to have the Fancy Boy of the Week. We've got a new one for you, people, just announced today. We're also going to talk about Quentin Rampage Jackson moving to Bellator and pro wrestling at the same time, a dual contract. What does that mean? Blurring the lines between MMA and professional wrestling even more than we ever thought possible. Hats off to him, I have to say just real quick. But we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about the Bob Sapp video conspiracy, and we will discuss MMA groupies and whether or not, is there something wrong with females who enjoy the sport of mixed martial arts? We'll discuss that. And, we do have a caller joining the panel late here, but he is a good friend of the show. He is the best MMA Jew in the business. He just dropped a new Fox Sports 1 poster, so I will go to him on the thoughts about this card. Ross Finkelstein himself. Ross, what do you think about Sonnen versus Shogun being the main event at Fox Sports 1, son?
It surprised me a little bit because I was expecting either TJ Grant versus Ben Henderson, or I was expecting the Jones Gustafson. I was really expecting Jones Gustafson to headline the card, but obviously his toe's not ready. I'm happy that Chael's going to headline the card. I think Shogun Sonnen's a great fight, and by great fight I mean it's a horrible fight for Shogun. Shogun's got like a 34% takedown defense percentage in the UFC, which is terrible, especially when you're going up against Chael Sonnen, who is one of the best wrestlers in the business.
Nice. Now, Ross, I've got anybody, I'll just plug you real quick, at Ross Finkelstein on Twitter, at Ross Finkelstein, spell it like a Jew. He did release he's always coming out with these great posters, man, for the UFC. Where did you acquire these Photoshop skills, man? Where did you train Photoshop, Ross?
I've been designing for about five or 6 years now. So just constant practice, constant designing, and eventually you can make posters like that.
God bless. It is a good one. Check out Ross Finkelstein. I also retweeted it. The AntGB Show on Twitter. We do have a caller coming in. I think my memory should know who it is, but I'm just going to ask. Caller, what name do you want to give to us, and where are you calling from? What's up? You're on the Word on the Street podcast.
Yeah, you can follow me at the MMA Moguls.
Yes. Hell yeah. Yes, the MMA Moguls. I was just on their debut podcast. It is a new podcast, the MMA Moguls. They're damn good. We got Wu-Tang and Vinny, man, just doing their thing. It is some cool shit. King Ying, whatever name he wants to go by. But plug your shit real quick before we get back to Sonnen versus Shogun. What's up with the MMA Moguls?
No, yeah, you can just follow us on Twitter. We're coming out with podcasts now. We're trying to get into this, but yeah, roll show. You do got some good fucking skills there, dude. That shit's good.
We do what we can here. We're still all learning, man. This is a new business. The internet itself is relatively new. I mean, 10 years ago, this podcast would not have even been possible without thousands of dollars going into it. Now it just takes a little bit of the puff, give weed smoke, and a little bit of partnership here, thanks to Jake from the MMA podcast. Now, Ninja Larson, man, making his return as always. We appreciate it, man. Sonnen is going to take on Shogun Hua at Fox Sports 1. It is going to be the main event. It was announced today. What's your take on this damn fight, dude? What's up, Ninja?
First of all, this whole visa crap, don't buy into that for a second. I live about 3 hours away from Canada, and I could do a cartwheel across the damn border from the U.S. So Chael Sonnen not being able to get into Canada, I mean, it's getting back into the U.S. That's the tough part. But I mean, that's just hogwash.
So you're calling bullshit.
The Ninja said hogwash. It is complete bullshit.
Yep.
I don't know why. I don't know why they are not having this fight. I would guess to me that it's Shogun just being a puss. But I'm not here to spread rumors and bullshit like that. stylistically, I really like Shogun. Shogun's a good fighter. He's got leg kicks up the fucking wazoo, so that's pretty cool. But like Ross said, he is just horrible on the takedown. And basically, from what we learned from the last fight, is the only way to beat Chael Sonnen is to out Chael Sonnen. Shogun is definitely not going to be able to do that. If Shogun goes for a takedown, I will lose my mind, because I don't think I have ever seen him do that in his lifetime. So
I can't even picture what that would look like, man. Let's face it, man, I've said it before, but whenever you think of Shogun Rua and his fighting, you always think of him getting the fuck punched out of his face and him punching the hell out of someone else's face. That's all you think about, just slugfests, man. That's how he makes his money. I don't think that shit's gonna work on Chael. But yeah, the truth from Queens, New York. What do you think about this fight getting put together as the main event, and how do you see it going? What's up?
I'm very excited for this fight. There's a 90% chance that I'll be there live in Boston. It's only about like a 2-hour drive, so I'll probably be there. I'm excited. I like it as the main event. As far as the fight, I'm just really excited to see how tired Shogun's legs are going to get from trying to defend these takedowns. I mean, like, if you look at Shogun throughout the first and second round, he's already, flat-footed, walking forward, can't even keep his hands up. So I'm just very excited for the fight. I don't know how it's going to play out, because I'm not going to just be naive. Shogun can knock out Chael Sonnen. Is it likely? No, but it should be a good fight.
MMA moguls guy, man, I don't even know what you want to go by at this point. Tell us what you want to go by so that I don't have to...
The MMA moguls is alright, that's fine.
Alright, the MMA... Well, you're one of the moguls, so you'll just be the MMA mogul. How do you see the Sonnen versus Showbum fight going?
Oh, yeah, I agree with Yale, man. I'm pretty excited for it, but, I mean, the fight's a 5-round fight, right? It's the main event.
That's what I was going to ask, if anybody knew for sure.
Yeah, it's a main event, so it's a 5-round fight. So I don't see Chael finishing Shogun. I just don't see that. So, and I don't know if I see Shogun winning the decision. So, I mean, either Chael by a decision or Shogun inside the distance. But if I had to pick right now, I'm going with Shogun. He's been training with Freddie Roach. His boxing looks a lot better.
Oof, man, I don't know, man. I have to disagree with the MMA mogul here, man. Of course, I am biased, but I do see Sonnen winning this one. Not easy. Shogun's going to put up a fight. He has some good energy. He went 5 rounds with Hendo or whatever. But Sonnen is a different animal, younger wrestler.
How do you see him winning?
Well, it'll probably go to the decision. I'll give you that. But Yao mentioned that Shogun might knock him out. I do have to remind everybody that Chael Sonnen has never been knocked out in his career, unless I have it wrong. And I do see him winning this fucking fight. Obviously the visa issues. Let's read between the lines, people. Those kind of bullshit. They know where the real money's at. Obviously, Fox Sports 1, they probably wanted John Jones to defend his title in this one. But, of course, somebody blasted his foot apart. I'm not going to name names here. And the dude ain't going to be ready to fight. Or at least not ready to defend his title, at least. So he's not taking the chance. So once again, John Jones pulls out of a card, in my opinion, and Chael Sonnen steps in to save the day. And that is the word on the street, people. If anybody knows anything different or can prove otherwise, call in right now and let us know. It is 512-782-WORD. 512-782-9673. Or you can Skype us if you want. If you got a computer and you got fucking PC skills, you can Skype us. Just add me as a contact. Word on the Street Podcast. Word on the Street Podcast on Skype. Now, people, we are going to move on. There is some other news that broke today. Didn't get as much attention, but certainly Team Darkside related. I have to mention, people, the best segue I can make is to announce the fancy boy of the week. And just bear with me. I apologize for the bad audio, but let's name the Fancy Boy of the Week. It is without a doubt a person who has challenged Kelvin Gastelum. Paulo Thiago is the Fancy Boy of the Week.
I call him out and he covers his mouth like a little fancy boy. I mean, what is that?
They call me Fancy Boy. You're a love man. When you walk in.
Yep, he's a dandy. He's a real fancy boy.
My boy, zigzag.
Paulo Thiago is the Fancy Boy of this week. He has signed the dotted line to fight our man, Team Darkside Fighter, the Ultimate Fighter Season 17 winner, Kelvin Gastelum, the champion himself, KG. He has been on this podcast twice before. I will clearly just admit that it is biased in my opinion, but he is a damn good fighter. He whooped up on Uriah Hall. He beat everybody that was put in front of him. He's undefeated in the UFC. He is the tough champion thus far. Kelvin Gastelum is going to take on Paulo Thiago. And just a little bit about Paulo Thiago. His official MMA record is 15 wins, 5 losses. In the UFC, the last person he beat was Michael Prezeris. Prezeris not going to work here anymore.
He doesn't even have his own Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that stinks. Well, there you go. But, of course, easily Paulo Thiago, man, he lost to Yum Yum Kim and Sierra Badazara. I'm not going to work here anymore. So Paulo Thiago, he's fighting a bunch of no-names. Yum Yum Kim, of course, was the exception, but he got his ass whooped. Paulo Thiago, just a little background here. He is, by coincidence, I'm sure, a Brazilian. And actually, from what I could read about him, he's actually on like the equivalent of the Brazilian police SWAT team. It says special forces, but come on, it's just a SWAT team. They just shoot whoever the government tells them to. They're going to be fighting at welterweight. It's going to go down of course, on Fox Sports 1 along with Chael. It's going to be
UFC
a damn
on Fox Sports 1-2.
Oh, 1-2. Oh shit! In Indianapolis, Indiana, on August 28th. 28th. That's what? It's like 10 days later. That's kind of quick. God bless him. Okay. Anyway, I'll cut the crap. Jake, how do you see the fight going? Kelvin versus Paulo Thiago. A lot of people are already counting Kelvin out, from what I can tell. Well, what's your take?
First off, to touch on the names, I knew this once they made UFC on Fox Sports 1 and 2 that these names would start getting crazy. Like in a year or so, we're probably gonna have UFC on Fox Sports 1, 5, and UFC on Fox Sports 2, 3. This is gonna be getting retarded pretty soon. But as far as the fight goes, you mentioned it. He's 2-4 in his last 6 fights. If Kelvin was fighting Paulo Thiago, say in 2009, when he was coming off wins against Koscheck and Volkman, I might be a little more concerned about him. But Kelvin's never lost a fight in his life. He showed that he could excel at one of the most difficult tournaments in MMA at middleweight. Now he's coming down to fight welterweight. This isn't good news for Paulo Thiago. A lot of people have been saying, like you mentioned, that Paulo's going to win, but I would be shocked if he was favored in Vegas, because to me, all signs point toward Kelvin Gastelum taking this fight and going 2-0 to start off his UFC career.
Yeah, if I'm the UFC, I definitely want Kelvin Gastelum to develop and win a couple of fights, keep that investment alive. Paulo Thiago, let's be honest, the only reason we're even talking about him is because he's fighting Kelvin. Ninja Larson, man. KG versus the Brazilian. What do you think, man? You think there's a little trouble here? What's up?
If Chael Sonnen and Coach J. Huey says KG Kelvin Gastelum can beat anybody at welterweight, then I'm going to believe it, and you better too. Paulo Thiago is going to get taken down and mauled like we've seen KG do time and time again. I hate to do the MMA math and compare one fighter to another, but what Uriah Hall brought to the game is like head and shoulders above what Paulo Thiago is going to bring. So KG all the way.
And I will move to Yao, who, breaking down the fourth wall here on the Word in the Street podcast. We do keep in communication. We can type to each other, send messages to each other while we're doing the show. Were you just kidding, man? Do you not know who Kelvin is? What's up?
No, I just remembered. I just Googled him again. And I just remembered.
He won the Ultimate Fighter Sonnen versus Jones season.
It's the man who beat your boy from Queens, Yao, remember?
He beat
Uriah Hall by split decision.
So give him some credit, man.
I scored it for Uriah Hall, but, the past is the past. As far as him dropping down and fighting Paulo Thiago, I really just don't care about this fight. I'm going to watch it, but I really just don't care about it.
That's some honesty from Yao, the truth. All right? You can never call him Yao the bullshit. Ross Finkelstein, man, what do you think, dude? Kelvin KG Gastelum is going to fight Paulo Thiago, the Brazilian, dude. A Team Sonnen champion versus a Brazilian. How do you see this shit going?
I didn't expect him to fight Paulo Thiago. When he said that he was, when he announced that he was going to announce his opponent on Monday, it's now Tuesday or Wednesday, I thought he was going to fight Mike Pyle. I don't like the Paulo Thiago fight in the sense that I don't think Paulo, first of all, I don't think Paulo should be in the UFC. I think he should have been cut by now. He hasn't had a really good performance in a very long time. That being said, Kelvin should win this fight if he stays out of his guard and doesn't try and instigate the ground game. He should win this fight.
The MMA mogul himself. What do you think about Kelvin Gastelum, man, and this Paulo Thiago kid?
I think it's a good fight. I think that Paulo Thiago definitely hit his prime a couple years ago with that fucking Josh Koscheck knockout, but Kelvin, you can't bet against undefeated. He definitely should win this.
I'm
going Kelvin by decision.
Yeah, I'll go with Kelvin. I don't know what method. I have to just do a little bit more research here on Paulo Thiago. But yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. Kelvin takes this one easy because of the fact that Paulo Thiago is the word on the street fancy boy of the week.
I call him out and he covers his mouth like a little fancy boy. I mean, what is that?
They call me fancy boy. You're a love man. When you walk in.
Yep, he's a dandy. He's a real fancy boy.
Turn my boy zigzag. Love man. Let's go.
The fancy boy of the week. Sorry, people. Anyway, the next piece of news here. Let's talk about it. It was another shocking. It wasn't actually that shocked. Well, I was kind of shocked at it. It is worth noting it broke today. Quentin Rampage Jackson has signed a deal with Bellator to fight in MMA, and also it was a dual contract. He's also going to do pro wrestling for, I believe it was TNA Wrestling. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. TNA Wrestling and an MMA contract.
I think that's correct.
Both at the same time. Like I said, it's blurring the line between MMA and wrestling, which honestly to me has been blurred for a long time. I the difference between the two is like Vince McMahon and Dana White. I think that's the only difference at this point. But I would just want to stress this. When I talk about works and MMA and shit, I'm not saying it's a bullshit, like it's all bullshit. You shouldn't watch the UFC. I love the UFC. I love the fact that it is the greatest fucking fighting organization on the planet at this moment. They even give us free fights. They give the fans what they want. I'll never fight that. I'm just saying, I just don't believe that these fights are entirely, this is not a professional sport at this time as far as a ranked professional sport goes. It is more entertainment here. It's the fight business. And obviously, that's the way all fight businesses goes. It's hard to transition that into a sport. Now, Rampage, he cut the bullshit and he was like, all right, I'll do MMA and pro wrestling. So, I will get your take on this shit. Rampage is going to fight in Bellator and he's going to pro wrestle at the same time. just, what did you think when you heard this, Jake, from the MMA podcast? And how do you think he's going to do? Do you even give a shit about Rampage? Just give your real take. What's up?
I was just about to say, I don't give a shit about this guy anymore. He was so uninspired in those last few fights in the UFC. All he wanted to do was talk shit about the company that made him famous and talk shit about Dana, the guy who made him millions of dollars and promoted this shit and worked hard to build up the UFC for guys like Rampage to come along and bitch. I couldn't care less if he wins every fight or loses every fight in Bellator and TNA. I do not give one single shit.
Oh shit, sorry, I was on mute here. Yeah, I got a little thrown off here. We do have a new caller on the Word on the Street podcast. Hopefully, we are approaching the caller limit, I have to say. But, new caller, who are you? Whatever name you want to give, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from College Station, Texas. This is Mark Carrillo from the Mark Carrillo Show.
Oh, holy shit. Yeah, I know this guy on Twitter. Mark Carrillo.
Yeah.
Definitely, at Mark
How are y'all
Carrillo.
doing tonight?
Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, at Mark Illo TX on Twitter. That's where you can find me.
Okay.
Sounds like OG Everlast, son. We have Ed Norton and OG Everlast on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
You never know on this show. Hey, Mark, we were talking about Rampage going to Bellator MMA fighting and doing pro wrestling at the same time. What do you think about this shit, if you've even heard about it?
Well, I recently wrote, and you can find the article on MikeTheTruth.com. It's titled Bellator Schmellator. And I wrote an article, just my rant about the contracts. They got Eddie Alvarez now, saying he's going to do underground fighting in Florida to pay his bills and stuff like that. And, I just feel they hold their fighters until there's nothing left. They hold their fighters, they keep their fighter in the contract until there's nothing left and nobody wants them. I hate to see him do it to Rampage, but then again, he's at the end of his career, so why not sign a contract that includes the wrestling? Because, that's the same thing they tried to do with King Mo, but King Mo got knocked out, and I feel like this is the replacement for King Mo to be the top guy that's got the belt and that goes to TNA. And I don't know if you're a fan of wrestling now, but I still watch wrestling. And MMA has already made its way into wrestling. Like, they do arm bars, they do leg locks, like all types of submissions now are finishing moves in the WWE.
Yep. No, I do agree. Ninja Larson, Rampage is fighting in MMA and pro wrestling at the same time, signing a contract for both, cutting the bullshit. How do you think he's going to do? What's your opinion?
Well, I personally think this is a brilliant move for Rampage. He is obviously done with his UFC contract and his career. I don't think in Bellator he's going to go very far. He might knock off a couple bums because that's probably all they're going to feed him. As far as signing with TNA, I watch TNA every week and don't miss a show. And I'm kind of leery of that because, like was mentioned, like the King Mo contract, he was brought in twice, said he's been training, and it's been, like a year now, and he's still training to be a pro wrestler or something. I don't know what's going on with that. It's been off TV for a long time, so it'll probably be probably a flop for Rampage's sake. I hope it's not. Maybe he can be a professional wrestler, but it's a good move for him because you look at Brock Lesnar. He was done with the UFC. He went back to wrestling because you make a hell of a lot more money. And best to Rampage. Yeah, maybe he can do it.
Maybe. Yeah, what do you think about Rampage and all this bullshit? What's going on?
This is honestly hilarious. When I first saw the news, I couldn't help but to laugh. Rampage he's just a funny character. The whole, dissing the UFC thing and leaving and, saying that's his last fight in the UFC, and then he's just moving on, talking about boxing.
Yeah. We might have lost Yao. Anybody else?
Now he...
Sorry, yeah, you cut... you cut out a little bit, Yao. Maybe we have you right now. But wait, you think the Rampage thing is kind of a joke?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But of course, obviously, when you watch Yao doing the pro wrestling shit, obviously, you know, you got to go into that not being like, oh, Rampage is a joke. He's obviously going to be playing a character. Ross, I know, is a huge wrestling fan. What do you think about, what can you even tell us about TNA wrestling and Rampage doing this deal? Like, I have never seen any TNA wrestling show in my entire life. Who else is even wrestling in there? Like, what can we possibly expect to see Rampage going up against?
Well, if TNA's smart, they'll try and capitalize on Rampage and King Mo together, maybe form a tag team with them. But TNA's got some stars. They've got Bully Ray, who you may know as Bubba Ray Dudley from WWF. He's one of the top heels in the business right now. They've got Kurt Angle, they've got AJ Styles, they've got Samoa Joe. They're really doing it big right now. Problem is, Rampage quits. He's not going to be able to work that type of schedule. He's not going to be able to take those bumps. I say about 2 weeks into training for his in-ring debut, he will quit. He won't be able to hang in the ring with anyone.
Think he's going to get banged up? You don't think? Well, is there a chance that they have him just kind of cut promos and just jump in and out like he was like a Vince McMahon or like I remember at the last. This is pretty obscure. The last, was it WrestleMania or some shit? They had, that pimp guy from the WWE, the Godfather, and, he basically jumped into the ring. As soon as he was inside of the ring, they kicked him right out, and then he just went home with his hose. Do you think Rampage is actually gonna wrestle, Ross?
I think he'll try to wrestle. It's just he won't be able to. I mean, his cardio probably won't be able to last him in the ring. He probably won't be able to work a 15, 20-minute match inside the ring, plus the fact that he'll quit before trying to take all those bumps. I mean, pro wrestling is 1,000 times harder than MMA. You can train all you want, but try pro wrestling and it's a totally different animal.
Yeah, I don't think Rampage even thought about that. I don't think he realizes that shit. He did like a stint in the WWE one time. He appeared like on one episode or something to promote the A-Team movie, but he did no wrestling. But yeah, the being a professional wrestler, it is hell on your knees, back, your joints, your elbows, your neck, your cardio. I don't think Rampage has it either, actually, to tell you the truth, man. The MMA mogul, are you a Rampage fan? I mean, do you have some hope here? Are you going to watch his shit?
I'm a big Rampage fan, and I know he gets a lot of hate because he does complain and bitch a lot, but dude, in my opinion, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I still think he's one of the best light heavyweights in the world. Dude, I mean, he went 4 rounds with Jones. He fought Bader when he was obviously hurt and got wrestled. And then, dude, Glover's a beast, bro. Glover might be champion soon, like, seriously. So, Bellator, they're definitely going to feed him canes. I don't see him losing in Bellator. But, I don't know a lot about the wrestling thing. I don't watch, like, TNA or nothing. But,
yeah,
I mean, he's probably going to get a good paycheck for that. And as far as Bellator, it's good if you're, like, already a name to sign with them, because then you're going to get paid. But if you're like Eddie Alvarez and you're coming up, like when he first joined them, it's not so good because then they fuck you. But he's probably going to get paid more with Bellator than he would anywhere else.
Let's face it, Rampage, I have it on good authority that he's broke as fuck, alright, people? They're getting ready to take his house. Like I said before, he's already practically living out of the A-Team van. They're going to take that too. They're going to repo that shit soon. He had to sign this deal. It was coming down to it. He has at least, 8 children that are like on the books and declared official. How many more than that? We don't even fucking know. This guy, man, he's broke. I am sorry. You guys think you're struggling here, just not being famous and shit? Trust me, this guy is in debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You understand me, people? And that's just the word on the street. It's all speculation, of course. Legal team, shout out. Ross, actually, I wanted to ask you real quick. You were like at a wrestling event earlier tonight, but it's like a Tuesday. I thought there was only Monday Night Raw and then the Friday shit for the WWE. But you tweeted a picture of me of Fandango himself. Where the fuck were you tonight?
I was at the Nassau Coliseum here on Long Island for the SmackDown taping. They actually tape SmackDown every Tuesday, along with the Wednesday show they put on Main Event. They also tape some other things too, like a show they do on WWE.com, but I don't think they taped that tonight.
So wait, you were watching the wrestling WWE shit that's going to air on Friday?
Yes.
So, oh wow, I thought that shit was live. Well, this is the Word on the Street podcast. Are there any fucking spoilers here? What's up, man?
I mean, what do you mean by spoilers? What do you want me to spoil?
Well, Fandango, you said he won, right? For instance.
Yes, he did win.
Okay, so you are willing to play along and give it away then. I was thinking for a second you were gonna like protect the WWE and not say shit.
No.
Would you actually Ninja, you are a wrestling fan. What do you know about TNA wrestling that Rampage is going to be a part of? Are you a fan or are you only WWE?
No, I'm a really big fan of TNA. I think they're looking at Rampage being a mouthpiece, which is good because, I mean, he's got some mic skills, which will go well. But as far as Rampage getting the timing down, because wrestling is a lot about timing, unless you can be, like a Brock Lesnar that just lifts people up and throws them wherever the hell they want. Rampage is going to find out really quick that all those big muscles are going to suck when it comes to endurance and timing and everything you've got to do. TNA, I think, is going to bite the bullet on this one. They want a mouthpiece, but the fans are going to want to see him fight. The fans are going to want to see, to the end of all the hype and all the talk that he's going to do. And he's got great people to work with. Sting, Hulk Hogan's there, Kurt Angle, some of the best talent in the world, but wrestling fans don't want to see, somebody come in and just do MMA holds. That's why we watch wrestling. So somebody jumps off top rope, hits you with an elbow. I mean, and is Rampage going to do that? Is Rampage even going to put the time in to learn how to do that, like Ross said? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't really see Rampage climbing up the ropes and doing a body slam. That would be entirely preposterous in my opinion, but I would pay money and cheer if it went down. That's the thing, man.
I think Rampage sees dollar signs and has no fucking clue what he's about to get into.
Yeah, and I mean, does anybody, honestly, I don't hate Rampage or anything. Yes, he was approaching bum status in the UFC, but anyone on the call, speak now or forever hold your peace. Is there anyone on the call that just does not want Rampage to ever come back? I mean, we're kind of all interested in this, right? We want to see the guy again in some fashion. He is an icon.
Yeah. I mean, the guy is easily good enough to hang within the top 10, top 15 light heavyweights in the UFC. I mean, the guy very recently just beat a Lyoto Machida, who a lot of people think of as the number 2 205er in the UFC. Maybe he's just got to go off, do his own thing. But if that's what it takes to really light a fire under his ass, I would love to have him do it and come back, because he is still definitely a legitimate MMA fighter.
God bless.
He didn't beat Lyoto Machida. That was just a paper win. That was poor judging. Lyoto whooped his ass.
I totally think Lyoto won too, and actually I bet a friend of mine $20 straight up on the fight, and I had Lyoto, so it bummed me out too. But either way you will look at it, it was a close fight, and most people think of Lyoto as the number 2 guy. That was that was not long ago.
Exactly. And he went 4 rounds with John Jones, and dude, Glover Teixeira is a fucking beast. That's he would beat anyone. To go to this decision with him, it ain't like he got knocked the fuck out. I could understand if he got knocked out. He went to a decision. He was getting his ass whooped, but he did go to a decision.
Well, I have to jump in there. The Glover Tex versus Rampage fight, I believe that was a slight work. Not a rigged fight, but they definitely told Glover to take it easy on Rampage and put on a show for the fans. He dominated Rampage. He could have decimated Rampage at any point in the fight, in my opinion. That's what I saw just looking at it. He backed off several times, and of course, Glover, like, just in his last fight, didn't he knock out the motherfucker? What happened in Glover's last fight? I don't even fucking remember. One of you trivia masters. Glover's last fight, who was it? It was like 2 weeks ago.
It was James Tahuna, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tahuna, and he knocked him out, right?
I think he submitted him.
Submitted him with a guillotine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shit. Sorry, James Tahuna. But yeah, Glover can submit a young man like Tahuna, and just can't even put the hurt, or even like he can't even put Rampage on Queer Street in their fight. I did call bullshit at the time. But that's the business. The UFC didn't want Rampage to get hurt. They wanted him to re-sign, extend his contract. Unfortunately, he did not. So now he is going to be wrestling, and he's going to get probably even more hurt than he ever would have taken safe money fights in the UFC. Now, people, program note here. I just want to, the Word on the Street podcast, the last episode we did, well, the one before that, we did interview Bob Sapp, Bob the Beast Sapp. It was an exciting interview. He told us the truth about the business, his life, works and dives, the feud with Ariel Helwani, the hate that spreads in MMA media. It was an awesome video. I finally got it on YouTube after having the biggest struggle in my life. I had to break that interview into 7 parts by the time it was said and done. It was so outrageous because of the fact that I've literally uploaded 60 podcasts or videos to YouTube using the same method. There were some images, some animated GIF files, just from UFC fights, but the only one that got flagged and removed every single time was the Bob Sapp one and the one where I talked about MMA works. Coincidence? You guys be the judge. But it's finally up there, the Bob Sapp interview, and of course, that went down for Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday. And then, of course, so check that out, definitely. But if you noticed if any of you watched the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, on his last episode, I think it was Monday, he had on the desk, clearly displayed, it was Bob Sapp's pop CD, his music CD. I thought that was a little ironic there. Maybe he heard the interview or heard about it, knew that Bob Sapp was going to shoot on him. Again, it was good. It was a good back and forth. It was an honest discussion. We love Bob Sapp. Hope he comes back on this show. That being said, I do want to bring up something that happened on the MMA Hour. I just watched it today. Mayhem Miller was on Ariel Helwani's show. He came on the fucking show, and Ross, you were right, dude. He's doing the interview. He's got bionic knee braces and shit, which we'll get to that in a second. But the best part, which Ross tipped me off to, and I didn't even believe him. He said that Mayhem was using a vaporizer full of marijuana during the interview and blowing the smoke. I saw it. He was blowing the smoke in Ariel's face, and Ariel didn't even know what the fuck it was, and was like, "Is that fake? Is that a cigarette? Is that electronic?" And like, it wasn't a work. It was a total shoot. Ariel had no idea that Mayhem Miller was smoking weed right, like a mere inches away from him and blowing the smoke in his fucking face. I thought it was hilarious. Did anybody else see the interview? Jake, did you catch that shit?
I didn't, but that shit sounds hilarious.
It was funny as fuck, man. He interviews Mayhem. Mayhem is, of course, like, it was like Lucky Patrick, except it was Mayhem this time. But there was no walkout, and he didn't fuck up the place. Ninja, did you see the interview at all? Do you even watch the MMA Hour?
Absolutely not. I try to stay as far away as I can from actually both of those guys. So it's kind of surprising that Ariel Helwani doesn't know what marijuana smoke smells like.
I thought he was blazing full time, people. Like, honestly, I thought he would be.
That's kind of surprising. That just maybe he doesn't, but it's Ariel Helwani, so I think he's just fake and a piece of shit.
I'm glad to know that so far there have been two answers. that involve I don't watch the fucking show. Yao, did you happen to see the Ariel Hawaii versus Mayhem Miller interview?
No, I stay just like Ninja said. I don't even watch. Ariel Hawani's stuff. I don't follow him. I don't look at him on YouTube. Nothing.
All right, I'll just put this out there for Ross or the MMA Mogul. Ross obviously saw it, so Mogul, did you see the interview?
I didn't see it, but I read that he said on it that he wish he would have fought Nick Diaz. And
oh, he did?
I think I heard he said that.
No, I didn't know that. I watched the whole damn thing, but I was so distracted by the fact that he was just getting high on the show.
Yeah, it's on the Underground. They said that he said it. I'm reading this shit now.
Oh, bad. I'll have to watch it again. Ross, dude, are you smoking the marijuana every now and then? You don't have to tell us, but what did you think of this interview?
I was laughing hysterically watching him pull out that vaporizer, and he even said at one point, "I hope you don't have a drug test coming up." He did slip that in there. So
and later on, he clearly said it is marijuana.
Yeah. So once he said that, you pretty much knew for a fact that's what he was doing. The fact that Ariel Hawaii couldn't pick up on that and smell it is just. He's got other people in the studio too, and they couldn't even tell. That's preposterous.
I've got to say, man, I do respect Ariel Hawaii. Like, he's done some of the best MMA interviews that there have ever been.
Yeah.
I do like his shit. I check it out all the time. I hope to one day have him on the show. Of course, probably burying myself right now, but I do respect him. But I've got to say, that's the difference between the MMA Hour and the Word on the Street podcast. Because if Mayhem Miller had started blazing that shit up, guys, you can, any one of you is open to answer this. What do you think I would have done if I was sitting next to Mayhem Miller and he blazed that shit up? Anybody?
Told him to pass that shit, son.
Fuck that guy, you're goddamn right.
But
Stop fucking camping on it.
I think one of the reasons they didn't say anything to him while he was smoking, we had got to keep in mind, less than a year ago, the guy was literally like throwing shit off of the table while Ariel Hawaii literally cowered in fear as Mayhem Miller was like, ah! Like I'm pretty sure after that you get a free pass to do whatever you want in that studio.
Yep. That was a good interview. I gotta see that freak out again, man. The Lucky Patrick incident. I was watching it live. I'll never forget it, man. It changed my fucking life. But overall take on Mayhem, guys. I am a Mayhem fan. Every time, I gotta say this is the truth. Every time I need some love advice, some romance advice, I tweet him and ask him for what he would do. And he's always answered. He's always been good about it. And it's always paid off. He did show up wearing dual knee braces, some real high tech, well, not high tech, but real supportive knee braces. Me having a fucked up knee for a long time now, I'm due for surgery. It's just a matter of me picking the month and getting it over with. I gotta say, I understand what it's like walking around with a busted knee. He is wearing full supports on both knees. And of course, during the interview, Mayhem did, obviously, he came clean with what happened. The UFC had claimed that they were going to pay for his surgery, take care of it. It was all going to be cool because Mayhem had complained about that the last time he was on the show. But this time around, he said the UFC kind of flaked or somehow. That's his claim. He still hasn't had the surgery. It's not paid for. It's going to cost him at least $50,000. Do you guys think that Mayhem Miller is doing good now? I mean, obviously, do you think he's? I'll keep it simple. Is Mayhem Miller a mess, or do you think he's doing all right? Just what's your one sentence take on it, Jake?
I don't know if you can say anything about Miller condensed into one sentence. He seems to be doing fine. You have a lot of people who act crazy but really aren't crazy. Mayhem definitely is crazy. The dude beats to the beat of his own drum. When he was doing the whole Lucky Patrick stick on the Ariel Hawaii show, I think everyone who saw that was kind of concerned about him, but now he seems to at least have his head screwed on halfway tight, and I'm not nearly as worried, about his well-being as I was last time he showed up on the show, claiming his name was Lucky Patrick, looking like he was about to beat the shit out of Ariel Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. Ninja, do you think Mayhem Miller is out of his damn mind and in a bad spot, or do you think he's in total control and just a free spirit? I mean, honestly, what do you think's going on with Mayhem?
Mayhem is the retarded kid at a family reunion. I don't hate the guy. I wish him the best. I hope he gets okay, but the whole Lucky Patrick thing, you don't rebound from that. That's a whole nother level of fucking crazy that's gotta be hard to bounce back from.
Well, yeah, he did that post interview, the one where he's walking through the park or something, which was kind of fancy boyish with Ariel. But yeah, Mayhem
Miller. He said
Miller.
to skip his ass.
Okay, Ross. Mayhem Miller, is he crazy or is he just eccentric? What do you think, man?
He's mayhem. He's always been crazy. He's always been off. But, I mean, he seems a little more off than he's been in previous years. But you know what? He's mayhem. It's his character, and that's who he is.
The MMA mogul, what's your take on Mayhem Miller in general?
I like him. I just think he just doesn't give a fuck. But that's what makes him entertaining. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
We wish him nothing but the best. I'll actually try to get him on the show at some point. That should be a fun one. We'll shoot the shit with Mayhem, alright? I consider just the fact that he's helped me with my love advice, which, you know what? That's a perfect transition, people. Let's talk about these MMA girls, these MMA groupies, the women that are actual fans of mixed martial arts. Well, it's nothing. It is on the Word on the Street podcast tonight. I'll admit it. It's a goddamn sausage fest right now. There are no women, unfortunately, on the call with us, but that kind of works out with the topic because it's a man's topic. We'll go there. We are talking about MMA groupies, chicks that dig mixed martial arts. And my only question, I have two questions. First question, Jake. A female that enjoys mixed martial arts, seeing a violent sport, getting into it. In your opinion, Jake, is there something wrong or unusual about a chick who enjoys watching fights? What do you think?
That's a really tough one.
It's not exactly natural. I mean, chicks every sweet, innocent girl that I've ever, quote, dated, they've all, they see somebody get punched, they see some blood, even in a stupid movie. They're hiding their eyes. They're saying, "Oh God!" Oh, shrieking. So, but some chicks actually dig seeing it happen for real, seeing it happen go down in real life. What's your take?
I'm gonna defer to everyone else first, and then jump on last.
All right, Ninja. Is there something wrong with a chick that digs MMA? What do you think?
It's kind of tough. I don't think it's. I think martial arts for anybody is a good thing. There are some MMA groupies that try way too hard to fit in with the boys. So I mean that kind of gives them a bad rap. It's like the girl that reads the paper every week and tries to get in on the poker games and bets on NFL stuff. I mean it's cute that you're trying, but I don't know, man.
It's cute that you're trying.
It's kind of tough. And on the other part, Ninja Mom, fuck, dude, I walk into the room and she's watching fights now. I'm like, shit, it's my mom, okay, if that's what they like, that's what they like. I can't really bash my mom on it for it, but they're trying.
They're trying. Ross, man, these girls that, I don't know, do you know an actual female in real life that digs mixed martial arts? And if so, do you think there's something wrong with chicks that dig MMA? I mean, they're not like normal chicks. Would you agree or disagree?
No comment.
What about you, the MMA mogul, man? Chicks that dig the UFC MMA Do you know any? What do you think?
It's natural, dude. It's like DNA. Like, they want the alpha male. Yeah, that's like in their DNA.
So you think it turns them on in some way, and that's why they want to see men fight? That I think he probably has the most right-on answer from what I've seen.
Yeah, I was just about to say the MMA mogul. He hit that shit on the head. Yeah, I mean, when a chick's watching MMA, a couple red flags go up that she might be a little on the psychotic side, but shit, psychotic and erotic are next door neighbors. They're trying to see who the alpha male is. They're fucking working up their little monkey. If you're seeing a girl watching MMA, move in on that shit, son.
Girls MMA has been introduced into the UFC, and I'm sorry for calling it girls MMA. Shout out to a girly MMA though.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What up?
You actually sound a lot like her. Weird. But yeah. Women's MMA, pardon me, has been introduced into the UFC. So my question to you people: if they're willing to fight like men, fight each other like men, get violent, it's going to be an accepted quote sport. Does that mean that maybe we should look back on the age-old rule of etiquette, the man's code, the chivalry code? I mean, now that women are fighting in MMA and the UFC, my question to each of you is it okay to hit a bitch? Is it okay to hit a woman now?
When women started to pick up equal rights, we let them vote. When they started to make more pay, we let them be an equal part of the workplace. We treated them the exact same as we would treat men in the workplace. And now that we're seeing women fight in the UFC, I kind of see it as our duty to start beating the shit out of them to make things on an equal playing field.
Our duty to beat the shit out of women. Ninja Larson, what do you think? Is it okay to hit a bitch now that they're fighting in the UFC? They want equal rights. They want to fight in blood sports. Does this mean that a man can now hit a woman?
I come from that police background, and I can straight up tell you that in a lot of cases, a woman is much more dangerous than a man. Mm-hmm. I've done battles with women, and as a man, that's kind of tough to say. But fuck, some of these women are crazy, dude.
Oh yeah, they'll put
up crazy.
They'll fight a cop just because they think that no way a man's gonna hit me, and they'll fight a cop.
And I like to live by that code. Open doors for women, treat them with respect and stuff. But man, they can do some damage, and that's one thing they teach you in police academy is don't do that. A woman can tear your ass up, and you're going, I can't hit a woman.
So we should hit them even harder than we would hit other men?
Some women are hard to knock out.
Some cases, some women are pretty fucking beefy, and
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I gotta say, man, if you're, for example, if you are versed in law enforcement, like our pal Ninja may or may not be, but if you are a cop, for instance, I mean, man or woman, I believe I'm correct in this. They do teach you to make no distinction between gender when it comes to officer safety. Like,
absolutely,
it's just as likely that a woman. You never know if a woman is going to just go crazy and just maybe pull a knife right between your fucking tits, right out of the bra, under her clothes or something, and start stabbing your ass. All right, like you can't assume that there's any difference. So of course they teach the police. We've revealed that secret here on the Word on the Street that it's okay to hit a woman. Of course, within.
In fact, you should go out of your way to hit women. It isn't just okay to hit them. If you're not, it's not okay.
Look what they've been taught since they've been kids, since they've been little girls. Kick a man in the nuts.
Uh-huh.
Fuck that. You're getting a right cross. They fight dirty.
Yep.
That's the difference between a man and a woman. A man will stand in front of you and put his dukes up, and you'll go to town. they'll straight kick you in the fucking balls.
Yeah,
Use their nails. Women are dirty.
Yeah, the woman has to assume that they're at a disadvantage from the get go because they are, and they will. Yeah, they'll try to dig your eyes out, scratch out your throat, whatever. I've been in that situation before. I've actually in my life, as much as I train thug jitsu and talk about it, I've probably been assaulted by women on more occasions than probably. Yeah, the truth. What is the truth, man? Do you think a man should ever hit a woman? What's your take, man? I know you're a good kid.
All I'm gonna say is that I did Superman punch a girl in training last night.
Did you knock her out, or did she take it? I mean, these girls are tougher than we think, right?
Yeah, she took it, but I mean, it wasn't full force. She punched me back.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, training in the bedroom. Way to go.
Yep. Yeah,
that's what he was talking about.
What?
Did you fuck her, Yao?
No comment.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Lay in that pipe.
That's what I'm talking about. You heard it first. That's the word on the streets of Queens. Ross Finkelstein. Is it okay to hit a woman? I mean, they're fighting in the UFC now. Are the rules changed now? It's the year 2013. What's your take?
I mean, you can hit a woman if it's like a bus driver uppercut style situation.
You're going to jail now.
Yeah, if they're instigating and they're assaulting you or they're something like that, then yeah, it's okay to just knock that bitch's head straight to the moon. But it's not okay to just hit a woman for no reason if you're in a verbal argument until they throw something at you or throw a punch at you or yeah.
Yep. Has anybody seen, of course, the bus driver uppercut is the classic man hitting a woman video. If you haven't seen it, just turn off, I don't even care, turn off this podcast and just look it up on YouTube. Bus driver uppercut. There's also the actual one where the cop is, you ever see the one where the cop just decks this woman wearing pink, just out of nowhere because like he starts getting surrounded by a crowd that's like, man, you shouldn't arrest her, you shouldn't put your hands on a woman, and then the two women start fighting the cop. So of course he's surrounded. The people are closing in on him. I hate to get a little. All right, look, it's a white cop and he's surrounded by a bunch of black people that are upset that he's like trying to arrest a woman. Has anybody seen this video or know what the fuck I'm talking about?
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
I'll message you guys.
Wasn't Tommy Sotomayor talking about it on a video or some shit?
He talks about them all, God bless him, and he was in Texas for the past like week and a half or something. But I didn't get a chance to hook up an interview or talk to him. It's a damn shame. Anyway, people, look up the bus driver uppercut. You'll know what we're talking about. The MMA mogul, dude. You ever have to get crazy with a bitch and just slap her down? What's up, man?
You ever see the video with the dude at McDonald's and the bitches start giving him shit?
Yeah.
And then like they hop behind the counter and then he pulls out that, I think it's like the fries, like the fucking thing, and he starts whacking them with it. What? You never seen this?
Pulls out a pipe or something. Just
yeah.
beating
Look this up right now. Type in like McDonald's workers or McDonald's worker beats two women or something.
I think I saw it on the Rogan Experience.
Yeah, type that in. But dude, under normal circumstances, no. Like Ross was saying, but I mean, dude, if some husky bitch comes at me, I'm gonna defend myself. I'll Chris Brown a bitch. I don't give a fuck.
The first thing that came up with was Jamaican employee defends himself from deadly attack at McDonald's. I'm watching it now. Yeah, there's bitches yelling at him. He's having some issues here. I will lay the video over the top of this podcast, by the way. So he goes crazy and just has to. Oh yeah. Oh
then
fuck.
Shit starts getting crazy.
Oh shit!
Yo, the best is when he hits them, and then he starts like nodding to them after he has them like knocked out, and then he hits them again. Yo, that shit's crazy.
He adjusts.
He gives them like a nod, like "What's up, bitch?" and starts hitting them.
I just watched it. He adjusts his cap after he's done whooping some ass. That's awesome.
That shit is funny.
Well, obviously, if Yep.
But they hit him first. Like, they hop the counter. If something like that happens, yeah, you can defend yourself.
Exactly. Obviously, if a woman hits you, I
That's
have
what
to
we
say.
in the business call a free pass.
Yep, I have
Yeah.
to say, if you're being assaulted, man or woman, defend yourself, people.
I mean, depends. There's like a real small girl now.
Oh,
But if
yeah.
it's some husky bitch swinging on you, yeah, defend yourself.
Yeah, and what I mean is, if a woman, if you feel that your safety or health is ever in
Oh, yeah.
danger from any
Yeah.
woman, or might
Yeah.
possibly be, defend yourself. But if it's obviously
Sure.
like some drunken little girl, the date went wrong, and all of a sudden she's swinging at you,
Chris Brown, yo.
Yeah, if they're acting up, if they're getting uppity, sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
Personally, I'll walk down the street, grab a purse from a lady, and then run into like a Chipotle, and then I'll be the first one in, and then I'll scream, "She has a gun!" And then when she chases me in there, then I can deck her, and all of a sudden I'm a hero. There you go.
That's right, man.
Word on the street.
It's all about being the heroes in this business.
Like, straight up, from a cop's perspective, if you're, like, socking a girl in the face, that means you're kind of a puss. I mean, if you can't grab a girl and take her to the ground or by the hair or some shit, I mean, then come on.
Yeah, I agree.
It's no secret that men are stronger than women in most cases, and that should just be a last resort.
Dude, I'll just say this, though. I'm just calling this right now. If there's a black girl on the Ultimate Fighter, she's going to win that shit. Black women. Listen. Black women are the most naturally born fighters on the planet. I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
Like
I'm not being racist. I'm telling you.
Let's hear you out. Let's hear you out, man.
Dude, I'm saying they're naturally born fighters. Like, black women will fuck a dude up. I would put money on them. Dude, 100%. If there's a black girl on this season, she wins it. I bet my house on it.
I believe there is.
There is? Oh, shit. The bets are in, people.
That's in.
Well, fuck. All right. Well,
I was actually
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say really quick. All joking aside, I obviously don't condone punching or hitting women, but how crazy is it that the current best boxer in the world is so much of a pussy that he hit a woman? Like, really, you can beat up any man in the world your weight.
Who you talking about, Mayweather?
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, it's just like, hold on, it's just like the Tyson thing. When you don't know what happened. I'm saying when someone's that rich and famous, people attack them. People attack them all the time. So, who the fuck, he might have broke up with that bitch or cheated on her, you know what I'm saying? And then she makes that up. And then the media loves to attack people that are in like a high position, so they fucking feed into it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know what happened.
Exactly.
I like didn't he do jail time for it? I mean, you've got to have a reasonable doubt.
Tyson, so did Tyson, so did Tupac, dude. None of that. They didn't rape no bitch. If you're that famous and rich, why would you rape some bitch? You know what I'm saying?
He does have a point.
I don't know, man. I really haven't looked into. If
Tyson would have hit Robin Givens, she'd be dead. She'd be fucking dead.
That is true. That's a good point.
Look at Theodore Ortiz and Jenna Jameson, though.
Yeah, he's an idiot, though. He married a porn star. That dude's a fucking retard.
Honestly, I haven't looked in. I haven't looked into the Floyd case enough to say he definitely did it. But if he did, and I mean, there are lots of guys who do. I mean, what fucking pussies.
Yeah, I agree. But show me a picture of that bitch with a fucking fractured nose, and then I'll say yeah. But
well, look, when they get crazy, you have to do what you got to do. And actually, Ninja, man, if you had to guess, of course, just hypothetically speaking, just of course, speak about maybe another law enforcement officer you maybe worked with, quote quote. How many times do you think this officer probably had to get physical with a woman on the job?
Like 10, 20 times. Fucking crazy, dude. They don't want to go.
Can I ask him one question? Okay. Isn't the worst call to get it domestic?
Oh yeah. Because I mean, you're walking into the worst day in these people's lives, and it's all emotion, and chicks get, and no offense to any women out there, but man, they can pour that emotion shit on, and some dude that's been beating on this girl for a long time, just beating the shit out of her, and you show up, she wants to get physical with you because she has all this aggression that she wants to beat the shit out of her boy. So she gets physical with the cops, and you got to put him down, man.
Because she knows you won't kill her.
Yeah, because she knows I'm not going to punch her in the face, you know, and too many times, or we got to take the guy, and she goes, oh fuck, he's going to jail because we have a mandatory arrest law.
And then they start fighting you.
and then the girl's like, oh fuck, my boy's going to jail. He's going to get out and whoop my ass, or there goes my bread money. And man, you get jumped. They're crazy. They're crazy.
Have you ever been like a little? What's the worst injury that they've ever? I mean, do they got anything, or have you been like injury free from these crazy women that flip out?
Oh yeah. I haven't gotten anything. A couple scratches, to be honest. That kind of sucks. Yeah. But they usually get tased. I've tased, seen women get tased just as much as men. You know, and it's tough, and it's sad because as men in this society, you know, we're supposed to be, you know, dominant and all physical, man. And you get a woman on the ground, and I've seen cops. I've fought with women. You know, they'll put their hands underneath them and just lay there, and you know everybody's looking at you like you're a puss because you can't get this woman's arm behind her back.
But
it's fucking tough, dude. It's tough.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna be on hold for 1 second. All right, my bad.
Yeah, and Ninja, these well, shit. How do you phrase it when you're talking about getting physical with a woman? It's a hard thing to do here. But Ninja, I mean, do you think? Well, I mean, obviously they teach you to treat women and men the same when you're making an arrest. But come on, honestly, like a part of you is always holding back. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and again, unless you were, you know, raised by a fucking pack of wolves, you know, that mostly people have been taught that, you know, you don't hit a woman. You go a little bit easier, you know. If I'm breaking up a bar fight, don't even get me started on bar fights with chicks, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That shit's insane.
Drunken women making it like they have to publicly like defend their image somehow in a bar.
And hair gets ripped out, and there's just like actual hair, not weaves and shit. There's like just gobs of hair everywhere. It's pretty nuts. But
side note, yeah, go ahead.
What up?
No, I was gonna ask. Side note: how many of these drunken bitches that you've arrested have tried to offer you like sexual favors in return for their freedom?
We have in my little city what we call egg days. It's we're like the fucking egg capital here, and
what?
So like 50,000 people come in.
What?
Oh, you said AIDS capital?
Egg, as in chicken egg.
Oh, all right.
So it's, you know, our little town's festival and stuff, and there's like 50,000 people that come in through this weekend. And, you know, my town's about 2,000-3,000 people. And so, you know, there's a lot of people. And so basically what we do on this weekend is cops, we stay up all night long because it sucks. And just, you know, close down the bars and break up bar fights. Nobody really goes to jail that much. But we take people home. And I'm a really, really person. I was not crooked in any way, but you got a girl full of, like, a back seat full of 5 hot-ass chicks that are like, hey, come in and have some drinks. You know, let's get this party going.
You
have to drive back down and finish your shift out. That sucks, dude.
So do all 5 of the girls have AIDS?
Possibly. That might have been. So I might have dodged a bullet there.
Oh, shit, man. I'm sorry, Ninja. I mean, I honestly know if 5 chicks were telling me to party with them instead of going back to, you know, writing tickets and, you know, just making people's lives a living hell, I'd probably choose the 5 drunken bitches, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be straight up and honest. I'm not the prettiest guy in the world. I'm not the alpha male out of everybody.
Boulder
and,
Dash.
you know, the chances that I'm going to have 5 drunk-ass chicks like that, I mean, because basically they just want to have sex with a uniform, you know? I mean, let's be honest here.
Oh, and you have a problem with that? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't have a problem with that, but... You know, obviously none of these chicks fucking talk to me the next day or ever try to find me again. So
that's kind of the extra bonus, man. If you ask me, man, I can't even begin to tell you, man. Just last night, I had my Twitter girlfriend going crazy on my ass, just trying to expose me, like she was Jenna Jameson, tweeting out pictures of me, you know, my drugs and whatnot, accusing me of this and that scandalous things. I ain't having it. All right,
Slut's never gonna take Alf away from you.
I know she wants to see him again. Never again. You hear me?
Think about Alf. That's what pisses me off about that whole thing. Think about Alf and
they
what
never
he
do.
has to go through.
They don't care.
2 Christmases. I mean, come on.
She doesn't care about Alf or his happiness or what happens.
If I could chime in, man, I seen the picture. And I seen McDonald's French fries. If that's what you're feeding that kid, dude, I'm gonna have to call child services.
Oh shit!
Get that move off.
Look, in all fairness, I just got breaking down the fourth wall. In all fairness, I did go to fucking McDonald's. I did just want the 10 chicken nuggets. I did not eat any of the fries, and I used that prop, which should have been food, but I did not eat the fries. I used that specifically for the picture. That is the word on the street. But I did eat those chicken nuggets, which I know it's actually like injected goo. I've seen how they make that crap, and it's actually pink in nature, and then they dye it to look like chicken. It's pretty disgusting when you think about it, but man, you know, it was hard times. It was hard times. I was on the run. The fuck
makes you turd.
Yeah. Look, anybody. This is going to be the last topic before we get to the trivia game, guys. Let's break it down real quick. This has gone on long enough. Last topic, of course, is a UFC fight that's going to go down in a couple days. I think it's a Brazil card. Honestly, I think it's a shit card. I have no idea who's even fucking fighting. Someone enlighten me. Jake.
We did.
Yeah, somebody tell me who's on the card, and then is there anything worth even watching? Somebody speak up. Whatever. Free for all.
We did break this down on the MMA Moguls podcast, which will be available shortly on YouTube. Check it out. But Verdum and Big Nog is definitely a good fight. Isn't that the Ultimate Fighter Brazil finale or whatever?
Yep.
Like, weren't they the coaches?
Yeah.
Is that the big deal?
Yeah, it may as well be called the Tough 2 Brazil finale. You have a lot of people on the card that just aren't really that recognizable.
Well, what else is worth watching besides the Nog, which I can't even tell you which is which. I can't even tell you, I host an MMA podcast. I don't know the fucking difference. I don't fucking care. Which one's fighting, and is there anything else worth watching on this card? Anything.
The main event will be Big Nog versus Verdum. The co-main event are 2 guys you probably haven't heard of until Tough 2. You have Leonardo Santos fighting William Macariao. Leonardo Santos is the older guy by about a decade, born in 1980, so I guess he's about 33 years old. He does fight out of Nova União, so you know the guy's dangerous. He is 11-3. The William, I don't know really how to pronounce his last name, but it's either
Magalhães.
Yeah, it's either Macariao or Macario, but he's 6-0, a lot more green. You got that co-main event. Thiago Silva's on the card. Daniel Serafian's on the card. He's the guy who wasn't able to fight in the Tough 1 Brazil finale. Eric Silva, Honey Jason, they're all probably going to win, but there aren't really that many compelling fights on the card, to be absolutely honest.
Honey Jason. Is he the one that comes out with the Jason mask?
Yeah,
That's right.
Fuck yeah. That guy's awesome.
I actually like him. He's actually pretty cool. But wasn't he the one where, in his debut, he came out, crying or something, and, Dana blasted him in the post-fight press conference? Is he the same guy that was crying?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. But he won that fucking fight, though.
It's gonna be good to see Thiago again. I love that motherfucker.
Yeah, I agree. Thiago Silva's a beast.
All right.
And the dude who's fighting knocked out King Mo, didn't he? Raphael?
Yeah. Rafael Cavalcante. I'm actually taking bets on what kind of urine Thiago Silva is going to submit to the drug panel. Odds are 2-1 on human, 3-1 on horse, 3-1 on pig, 4-1 on cow, 6-1 on chicken. Chicken is the black horse, but he might use chicken pee. You never know. So get your bets in.
Chickens are popular in Brazil.
Chickens are popular.
Jake,
I think I'm gonna have to go with chicken.
Jake, I'd actually like to put $35 down on chicken.
All right.
That's a new term, people. It's the opposite of chicken shit.
How do you get pissed from a chicken? That's what I want to know.
You don't. They have. It's not separate. It's together. Like.
Oh yeah, I would know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. That man's killed thousands of
slaughters
animals.
chickens, or he did for a
that
living.
shit was good.
What's up, yeah? They don't piss in separate what? They have what tubes? What?
Yeah, it's just one tube. Like everything comes out together.
That's sexy.
So it's like a slushy?
The piss, the shit, and everything?
Yeah, everything just comes out as one.
Like a slushy? Who the fuck said that?
MMA moguls.
Like a slushy. I like that.
It seems more efficient, though, actually, when you think about it, though. I'd actually... I don't know if I'd prefer it. I don't know. Well, I like... Having a
You heard it here,
badass.
folks. Word on the street.
No, having a dick is badass, I will say that. It is a family fucking podcast, people. I apologize. Now, what the fuck were we even... we were talking about the shitty Brazil card this week.
A couple more good fights on there. Ronnie Marks was fighting. You might know him. And Von Lee.
It rings a bell. I don't really... There's another one that I was interested in.
Eric Silva, Jason Hodge.
That's the one. Eric Silva making his comeback after getting his ass whooped by John Fitch. If you rewatch it again, it was a boring fight, but it was surprising because I think Fitch, finished him?
No.
Nah, decision.
Dude, it's Fitch. Fitch can't finish.
Oh, well, I thought it was shocking. Well, it was probably only shocking because he won then.
In Brazil.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't a work. They were probably...
Wasn't he like the only American to win on that card or something like that?
I'm not sure. We'd have to... that should be next week's trivia question, actually. Which brings us to the final and last segment of the Word on the Street podcast. I believe that we do... well, first of all, I want to say, the opponent game is still in effect. Ross Finkelstein is the defending champion. Well, he is actually very disputed, but he is the reigning champion, undefeated, and we will definitely continue with that. He still holds the belt, but a little intriguing twist here. Jake from the MMA podcast wanted to just propose his own little trivia game, so I thought, why the fuck not? Ross can reign for another week, or actually we'll have another podcast on Thursday with that himself. I'll get to that after this. But Ross can just reign. He is the champion on the Word on the Street. Make no mistake about that. But we do have an interim trivia game that Jake from the MMA podcast has proposed. So I'll let him take it away while I smoke marijuana freely, people.
Toke that shit up, cocksucker. Yeah, a lot of people were thinking that people were Googling. It wasn't just Ross. There was typing in the background the first time. Also, the first time, I think Tito called in and was literally like pronouncing the guy's name wrong because he was reading it. So there was a little fuckery there. But we got a new game that I don't think you really can Google or Wikipedia. It's called Guess That Fighter, and it's very simple. I'm gonna name facts about the fighter, facts that could apply to lots of people. For example, I'll say his height. I'll say what classes he's fought at. I'll talk about the promotions he's fought in. But I'll start naming facts. You probably won't be able to get it within the first couple facts, but once I start naming lots of facts, if you think you know who the fighter is, don't just blurt out the guy's name, because then shit will get super confusing. Just say your own name. Say Ross, say Ross, Mogul, say Mogul, Ninja, say Ninja, etc., etc. Whoever's name I hear first, I'll say, all right, Ross, all right, Mogul, and then once I call you out, guess who you think it is, and if you get it right, you get a point. First 1 to 3 points wins, and you just can't guess a shitload of times on one fighter. So say I've picked Jose Aldo, and you guess wrong, you're out for the rest of the Aldo round, even if you figure it out before everyone else.
Wait. So wait,
does everybody get it?
Let me see if I get it.
I like it. That's really good, yo. That's like a good ass
I have a
game.
question. What if you shout out someone else's name?
If you shout out someone else's name,
Only a
then
cheater would think of something like
then,
that.
well,
If I had a nickel.
all right. If you shout out Ninja and I say Ninja and Ninja's like, I don't know, then I'll just keep on going and Ninja can still guess.
I'll be
I have a
refereeing.
question.
What's up, yeah?
I have a question. Can someone just type into Google everything you're saying and just keep it and enter?
I doubt it. If you type in all that shit, you would need to Google
if he throws
every
out
time.
shit like he knocked out like Sylvan or like just like whatever in the second round, you ain't gonna be able to Google that.
Yeah, if all right, so if I say he's 6'1", he's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he's an NCAA D1 wrestler, he's beaten so-and-so, it's going to be really difficult to try and mix all that shit up into one Google.
Oh, let's get this shit popping. Everyone get it?
Well, wait, hold on. Just for the listeners, for anybody that is smoking weed like I am, just want to clarify here. Jake is going to name a few facts, and the people on playing the game have to try to guess who it is, given these facts. And you buzz in by saying your own name first. That's how you buzz in. And of course, I will not be playing the game. I will be simply observing, and like I said, smoking marijuana, cigarettes, and just being an impartial judge if it has to come down to that.
You gotta keep track of the score, though.
I'll do that too. So
first one to 3 points wins the inaugural belt.
Let's go.
All right, my first fighter. He's 34 years old. He currently fights at 135 pounds. He was an NCAA D1 wrestler. He's a brown belt. Yao?
Yao buzzes in.
Yao, what is your answer?
I think he was guessing himself, maybe.
Were you guessing yourself, Yao? Where did he go? Did he drop out of the call or some shit?
Seriously. Yao seems to be missing. All right, keep going.
All right.
Actually, start off from the top.
All right, he is 34 years old, currently fighting at 135 pounds, NCAA D1 wrestler, brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. His first UFC fight was in 2011.
Ross.
Yao.
Ross chimed in first.
Faber.
Uriah Faber is the correct answer.
Ross with 1 point.
1 point to Ross. Yao, you were very close there, but weren't able to get it off.
Wait,
All
Faber's
right.
34 years old?
Yeah, Faber's 34.
Holy shit.
What was that, Yao?
I have a question. Can you say the weight class first?
He
I was
said
gonna say, can you say that
announced
late?
the weight. He
Yeah,
announced the weight.
I'll mix
all
it
you
in
gotta
every
do is
now.
Google that weight class and just go down, like you can see right away.
But
I'll take
you
that shit
can't.
later.
Yeah, it doesn't say if he's 34 or what he
No,
fought
I'm-
wrestling. What?
I'm just asking, when you say a fighter, can you just name the weight class first?
I might say the weight class first. I might say a third. I might not say it at all. That's part of the game. Next fighter. He's a year older than Faber. He's 35 years old. The man has beaten Krzysztof Soshinsky. He is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's an orthodox fighter. He's fought at 2 weight classes in the UFC. His UFC debut was in 2005.
Ross.
Ross?
Stephen Bonner.
I'm sorry, that is not the correct answer. So Ross is out for this round. I'll keep naming facts about him.
Question.
Yeah.
since Ross got the first question right, was that considered the first round?
Yeah, Ross has a point, but he's out and ineligible for this point. He earned his black belt under Lloyd Irvin. Fights with Alliance MMA.
Yao.
Go for it, Yao.
Brandon Vera.
That's the correct answer. Brandon Vera, the truth. He has fought at light heavyweight and heavyweight within the UFC. We got 1 point for both Yao and Ross. Alright, your next fighter. 30 years old. Younger than the last two. His most recent fight was at welterweight. And it was in Bellator. He has over 10 fights with the UFC, though. His most recent UFC fight was a loss to Dennis Hallman. He's a black belt in both Judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Ross. Carl Parisian.
Carl Parisian is the correct answer. My next guess, or my next hint was going to be his nickname is the same nickname as one of the teams in the NBA Finals. But it is Carl the Heat Parisian. Ross with 2 points, 1 point away from winning the inaugural championship.
What's a veneer?
What was that?
What's a veneer?
Right.
Nobody. All right. Nobody's a Carl Parisian fan except me.
No.
Remember when he got his tooth knocked out?
Did you ever see the Nate Diaz video with him?
Which one?
He was acting like a dickhead. Like, he's like, you know who I?
Yeah, from Tough.
Yeah, man, that was the best. I love Carl, man. He just got addicted to painkillers and got fucked up in one fight. And it was game over. But he's a good guy. I have a sneaking suspicion he works at a liquor store here in Austin, actually. Anyway, let's keep going.
All right. This guy, he's 35 years old. He's an alumni of The Ultimate Fighter. He has 26 wins, or not wins, he has 26 fights on his MMA record. He's a D1 wrestler.
Ninja. Rashad Evans?
Not Rashad Evans, I'm sorry, Ninja.
Oh, damn it, that would have been awesome.
That would have. Alright, he has, let me see.
Wait, can you start over?
Yeah, alright, he's 35. He is a D1 wrestler. He has 26 fights on his record. In his last 5 fights, he's 2-3. One of those fights being a UFC championship fight. Still in the UFC. His last 2 fights have been losses. One of those losses, or I really can't say that. He has fought a UFC champion twice.
Yao.
Go
ahead.
Kelvin Sonnen.
I'm sorry, it's not Chelpy Son. I think it's down to Ross and the mogul now. He's 5'10". Fights orthodox.
I know.
Yao.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already picked wrong, so you can't guess again. He is a welterweight.
Josh Koscheck, or whatever.
Who is that?
Mogul. Josh Koscheck.
Yep. Josh Koscheck. A point for Yao and Mogul. 2 points for Ross. Getting a little heated. But yeah, definitely make sure to chime in with your name first, because
my bad. I don't know why. I thought I heard something about 205. I don't know why.
True, yeah.
205.
Yeah, you did.
5'10" at 205.
Probably when Ninja... What was Ninja's guess?
Rashad
Evans. That may have put you down that path. Yeah. But your next fighter... 11-1 is his record.
Yao.
Yao.
Cain Velasquez.
It's not Cain Velasquez. He was born in the state of Pennsylvania. He's 6'2". His only loss is to a former UFC champion.
Mogul.
Mogul.
Phil Davis, the wonderful.
Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis is correct. So 2 points for the Mogul. 2 points for Yao.
No.
Or sorry, yeah. Sorry.
For the Jew.
What?
2 points for the Jew. And 2 points for the Mogul.
Yeah, not anti-Semitic, man. What the fuck?
That's not some anti-Semitic. Trust me, I love the Jews. You trust me.
It was a hard J, but it wasn't that hard of a J. All right.
Ross, hold on. Well, let's clear this up on the word in the street. Ross, you know you're the best MMA Jew in the business. Is that offensive to you?
I love that honor.
That's what I'm talking about. So let's continue.
All right. Your next fighter has 10 UFC fights under his belt, none of which have ended in the first round. In those 10 UFC fights, he's 7-3. He's not from the United States. He's 28 years old with a reach of 69 inches. His first UFC fight was in 2009. Before joining the UFC, he was 8-3. His most recent fight was this April, where he won by TKO. He's won his last won his last 2 fights via TKO. He's fought at both lightweight and featherweight in the UFC. His most recent loss was by TKO, and it came in 2012. Ooh, this is getting deep.
He's fought lightweight, and what was the other one?
You can
featherweight.
You can start over, right?
Featherweight. Yeah, I'll say everything again. The guy's fought 10 fights in the UFC. He's 7-3 in the UFC. 28. He's not from the United States. Reach of 69 inches. Won his last 2 fights via TKO. The fight before that, he lost via TKO. He's a European. All right. He has he has beaten Dennis Seaver. In that fight was in Ninja.
What's up, Ninja? Go ahead, take your guess.
Ross Pearson?
That's correct. Ross Pearson.
Yes!
That is correct.
Oh, nice.
Ninja
Ross
on the board. Holy
Pearson
fuck.
on the board. Fuck yeah.
Good job, Ninja. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, he fought in Sweden. Oh shit. Forgot about that card.
Ross Pearson, I love you. Wherever you are.
All right.
How much material do you have?
Yeah, I'm pulling up the next guy. All right, your next guy. He's 31 years old. That's the beauty about this game. You don't really need to prepare. You just need to pull up their page and start reading shit.
I had one ready to go in case you weren't.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, can I ask a question?
What's that?
Didn't Ninja win?
No, Ninja has 1 point. You have 1 point. And Ross and the Mogul have 2 points. So if Ross or the Mogul...
How many rounds are we doing, actually?
Yo, it's the first to 3. First to 3 wins. So if Ross or the Mogul get this correct, they are the champion of the inaugural belt. No more questions, cocksuckers. Next up, he's 31 years old. He also is not from America. Also, like the last fighter, he's won his last 2, but before that he lost. His last 2 wins were by decision. His most recent one in March. He's defeated TJ Grant. He's 6'2". Ross?
Dong Hyun Kim.
Yum Kim is the correct answer, and Ross is the inaugural champ of Guess That Tweet.
Double champion.
He meant to say Ninja. when he answered that. So
he is the show's first 2-belt champion, like my favorite fighter of all time, BJ Penn. I gotta respect it.
Ross, I have to ask you, man. They doubted you. They even came up with a new fucking trivia game to challenge you to try to take your belt. They pulled every dirty trick in the book. What do you have to say, man?
Kaboom.
Ross Finkelstein, like I said, the best Jew in the MMA business. Hands down, I believe in him. He's my champion. I am putting him over every time. This may or may not be rigged. You people don't fucking know. It's not.
Right there.
Yeah.
I actually like this game more than the other game. The other game is not as fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got to pick one, because, we don't have that kind of time here.
Stick with Guess That Fighter, cocksuckers.
Let's do that one, then. Are you okay with that, the reigning champ, Ross Finkelstein?
It's fine by me. I'll retire as the champion of the other one.
I honestly, does anyone on the call doubt that Ross Finkelstein won legit?
Yes.
The truth.
He is your champion. He is your champion. This is your show. We understand what's going on.
Oh, so you think
one day Ross will be gone, and then you'll just hype up another guy, make him your champion of your show. It's fine.
All right, so you think the promotion?
I heard the IM's going back between you. You're feeding them answers, Ramses. I mean, we all know that was going on.
These fighters were handpicked. I mean, the fights were handpicked. You know.
These accusations persist, people, but you gotta keep tuning in to find out the real truth. Ross is beating these people's asses legit, even when they switch up the rules on his ass. And you can, if you think I'm lying, call me out, but there's no deception in my voice right now. Ross won straight up, people. That is the word.
Sponsored by Google.
No way.
And Wikipedia. Man. Thank you very much.
No way. I believe it was legit. Jake, great game. Let's just, everybody, we're about to close this shit out and just get back to trying to flirt with bitches on the YouTubes and the Twitters or whatever the hell you.
What up, Bake Early MMA? Them titties.
Early MMA, hell yeah.
Titties!
Just a quick recap, though. We did talk about Sonnen versus Shogun. I think mostly the consensus was that Sonnen's going to whoop his ass. Fancy Boy of the Week was Paulo Thiago for daring to sign the dotted line, taking on Kelvin Gastelum. He's going to get his ass fucking whooped. Shout out to KG. He's going to be on the show pretty soon, actually. A lot of you guys about to be on the show that you wouldn't even fucking believe. I was talking to Coach Jamie, the living legend Huey, earlier, and we're working on some crazy ass shit. You guys will be, I'll honestly, I hope you guys are a part of it when we have these crazy guests on. They're coming up real fucking fast, so be ready. We also talked about Rampage moving to Bellator and professional wrestling. I think we kind of all it was 50-50 between bum status and we want to see this. And we talked also about MMA groupies and is it okay to hit a bitch now that they watch the UFC?
Yes.
And I gotta say the general consensus was that it is okay to hit a woman if you feel that you are in danger or, she's just acting up and out of line. We all know what it is. It's called the goon hand. That's actually going to be my fight tip on the next episode of the MMA podcast, which you can find at, Jake, what's the word?
The word's real simple. Just follow us on Twitter, The MMA Podcast, or visit us at themmapodcast.com. We're going to give some shit away for our 2,000th follow. I'm pretty sure we're going to give away the gi that Hoist Gracie wore at UFC 1, and we're going to have that signed by every UFC champion that there's ever been. And we're going to randomly give that away to one of our followers when we hit 2,000.
Word. And Ninja Larson, good to see you. Have you back here on you talk back here. Talk to you again. Ninja, thank you for coming on. The bitches are crawling all over you. Where can they find you on the Twitters?
At the Ninja Larson. Real simple. If you can't spell that, then you don't deserve to follow me anyway. Thanks, guys.
Hell yeah, the Ninja. Yeah, the truth, man. Where can people find you, talk to you? Obviously, you know that chickens only have one orifice to excrete from. So obviously the chicks, they're going to be lining up. Where can they contact?
Did you just get all scientific?
I actually am a scientist. I'm an amateur scientist in my spare time. I am what you would call a tinkerer like a Renaissance man, the Leonardo da Vinci of MMA. But that's another podcast entirely. Yeah, the truth. Where can people contact you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Yao_the truth. That's YAO_the truth. I'll be fighting Mike Ritchie soon. Watch out.
Hell yeah. After Mike Ritchie, you got to take out that fucking Colton Smith. That's another story. He lives here in Austin, Texas. I'm totally planning an ambush podcast with him, but keep that under wraps, people. Ross Finkelstein, the undefeated champ for sure, severely disputed champ, but you now have defended your title in 2 separate events, weight classes, and whatnot. What do you got to say? Where can people reach you and contact you, see the work you're doing?
Check me out on Twitter, twitter.com/Ross Finkelstein. If you can't spell Finkelstein, well, you probably can't spell Finkelstein at all. That's Finkelstein. And yeah, I'm posting lots of shit.
He's the best in the business. He whooped everyone's ass. You can hit him with whatever you want. He's gonna continue winning. Just the last minute call that came in, I decided to just say, fuck it. I will take the call. Caller, we are wrapping up, but honestly, tell us what name do you want to give for yourself and where you calling from? I was afraid this would happen.
Sounds like Lexi.
Sometimes the callers get jitters, but yeah, it happens. I don't know why they would do this. Sorry, the MMA Mogul. Plug your podcast. When's the first episode going to be up? I was on it. It was an honor. What's going on? Where can people follow you on Twitter and check out your podcast?
You can follow me at Wu-Tang1990, but I change that shit all the time. You can follow the podcast at the MMA Moguls, and same for YouTube. Subscribe to that, and it should be up tonight.
Hell yeah. The MMA Moguls, follow them. Follow the MMA podcast. Ninja Larson, Yao the Truth, the champ, Ross Finkelstein, the best Jew in the business, and our caller, whoever he was that is not willing to speak, but God bless you as well, even though I don't necessarily believe that. On Thursday, we'll be back with the Word on the Street podcast. It will be Adam Sella as our guest. Adam Sella, MMA fighter, Tough 17 alumni. We're going to talk to him. He is alive and well. I'm going to prove it to you people. And we will have Coach Jamie, the living legend, Huey. With that, we will end the live broadcast, but I do want to have a quick couple words with the people on the call afterwards. I love doing the behind-the-scenes show. Sometimes we should upload that and put that on too. But for now, people, thanks for tuning in to the
Way
Word
too
on the
racist.
Street podcast. See you next time. Jake, just say goodbye for us and let us know when we're cool.
Mwah. See you next week.